Hey everybody, it's Pasta Jardula from the Combo Couch. I thought I'd do a little video in light of Bernie's little speech today. I know a lot of us saw it coming, but I think the fact that he just got on with Joe today, really a sense of realness set in for a lot of people that this is happening. I mean, everything they fought for, everything they worked for this last several years, just a false reality. And I think more than ever, some Berners are very serious about moving on with a third party. But my question to you is, what's that third party going to look like, right? Is it going to be another movement by the SJWs, social justice warriors who work for Bernie Sanders, who, in my opinion, are just as guilty of shrinking Bernie Sanders' base as the establishment? Oh yeah, you're just as guilty. Because you didn't want to work with people who thought differently than you, but agreed on some core issues. You damned people and shunned people because they had a different ideology than you, even though they had serious agreements. And more than anything, the SJWs were preyed upon by the establishment heads like Fayez Shakur and Matt Dust, who played with your emotions and used you to go against people and groups that could have been major allies with major agreements as you. So I ask you, what is that third party going to look like? That's the $1 million question. I mean, is it going to be cancer culture again? Are we going to call people toxic because they don't agree with you? Are we going to call everybody a Nazi? I mean, meanwhile, you're supporting a candidate in Bernie Sanders, or you supported a candidate in Bernie Sanders who was in the DNC that really didn't give a shit about your civil liberties, that didn't care about rigged elections, and they were just as big as warmongers as the Republicans. And now you got Bernie Sanders supporting Joe Biden. And I ask you, SJ Dubs, this guy doesn't even, he said he'll veto Medicare for all, Joe Biden. He doesn't believe in a Green New Deal. He didn't do shit when the Standing Rock was going on. He took fracking money in the beginning of his campaign. So I ask you, now that you've seen the light, what's a third party gonna look like? Because people are really jumping right now to say, we need to start a third party, and I say pause. Don't get ahead of yourselves. What's a third party going to look like? Because it can't be based solely on the left and their ideologies and their issues. And even though some of those SJWs are my friends, I know who you are out there, I love you. But you're just as guilty of shrinking that party as the establishment. And you need to hear it, and you need to hear it today. Because if you want to start a third party and you want real change, are you ready to agree with people on the other side of the aisle who don't agree with you? Who don't see eye to eye? People who you could have major agreements when it comes to protection of our civil liberties, criminal justice reform, election integrity, ending regime change wars. Because here's the thing, SJWs, you always talk about what's going on over here in the States and the racism and the systemic issues we have. And yeah, I wouldn't deny them. But the most racist thing that we can do as a society, as Americans, is continue on with our imperialistic ways. Going around and bombing indigenous people in their homeland. Babies, children, civilians. That is the most racist thing to do. So moving forward, social justice warriors, the issues at home are important, but foreign policy matters. And you need to put it on the table. Because where the secret empire. So I ask you, what is a third party going to look like? Don't jump to start one. Start the conversation of what we're willing to do and where we're ready to compromise to get certain things done that all progressives should stand behind. You want a third party? So do I. But let's ask ourselves, what is that third party gonna look like? Are you ready to make sacrifices to get it done? Are you ready to bend away a little bit on your ways? Are you ready to hold some responsibility for what happened and make sure it never happened again? Because the only way we do that is we get in a room and we talk to people who don't agree with us, but we can find areas of common ground to move forward, to help everybody in this whole world. Working people, people who are getting bombed. We need to stop this shit. What is that third party going to look like?